All right, so here we go, 5 drum fills that you can use. But specifically, these drum fills contain like fragments, you know, almost like words that we can take and rearrange into different parts of fills and everything. And so that's kind of what I wanted to draw your attention to with these drum fills. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do that. Turn on post notifications. There's a ton of new content coming. I've got a ton of other drum fill videos on the channel, as well as on my website. And then the sheet music for this lesson, if you want that, that's in a pinned comment or in the video description below. Let's get down to this. This first one is, it's taken from a famous jazz lick. Salt and peanuts, salt and peanuts, salt and peanuts. Okay, and that lick goes all the way back to, I think it was Count Basie was credited as playing it way back in the day. And then the song, I think, is credited to Dizzy Gillespie with maybe a collaboration with Kenny Clark, I think, with the drummer Kenny Clark. I think that's where the song came from. But nonetheless, this is really well known in the jazz world as a lick that's kind of referenced to, and it's simply salt and peanuts. Salt and peanuts, salt and peanuts. Well, that's fun because we can take that one phrase and we can use that to build other drum fills, right? Right, so I use it twice in there, add 4 more 16th notes, and I've got a drum fill. Now, what happens if we add those 4 16th notes up front? And that's what's on the sheet music. So what we want to do is, I'm going to take this on the snare drum, and I'm going to play 1, E, and then we're going to start with salt and peanuts. So. So 2 goes 2, E, and 3, E, and 4, E, and or salt and peanuts twice. So beats 2, 3, and 4. Put it with beat 1, 4, E, and 1, and 1. 2, 3, 4. So again, the goal is obviously teach you a fill you can use right now, but to teach you a mnemonic device, which is salt and peanuts, that's that mnemonic device, and that's going to help you remember that, and then you can take that and you can throw that into other fills and use it almost like a word or a phrase, just like they do in the jazz world, all right? So now we're going to take one, I call it maple syrup pancakes. And some of you may be like, these are cheesy names, but you'll remember it, won't you? You'll never forget maple syrup, maple syrup, maple syrup pancakes. You're never going to forget that drum fill. Now, the maple syrup part is this. It's going to go snare, high tom, low tom, kick. Okay? And this is really a variation of bucket of fish, which I'm going to teach you in just a second, all right? So it goes 1 E and Not only should we be able to say it, we should be able to count it too. So 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and accenting all the downbeats, and then 4 and. 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and 2, 3, 4, 1 E and 2 E and 3 E and 4 and. Okay, so maple syrup, pancakes. 1 Eana, 2 Eana, 3 Eana, 4 and again, that phrase, maple syrup, we can use in several different places. Maybe I've got this. So it doesn't have to just be stuck in there where it is. You can take that and use that as a phrase to rearrange. So we could use that with salt and peanuts. Right? I did a salt and peanuts, a maple syrup, and a salt and peanuts. So you can take these and move them around as phrases. So I'm teaching you 5 drum fills under the guise of really teaching you some smaller fragments that we can take, move around, and use as words within our drum fills. This is a really fun fill that a friend of mine, Zach, I was listening to him play. I'd gone to see him play, and I believe, was I at church that he was playing this? But he used this drum fill, and I was like, man, I had forgot about that specific pattern, like coming up the toms. I call it the backwards fill. But I got to give credit to Zach, so for reminding me of it. And it's simply going to start on your floor tom. I'll start on this tom. I've got kind of a strange setup at this moment. I don't know why I haven't reset the drum set, but nonetheless, it is what it is. I'm teaching the lesson with it. So I'm going to start on this first floor tom. And it's just going to start on beat 3. It's going to go 3 E and 4 E and ending on the here. And what's fun is we can take and we can end this with no crash. So end on the of 4th. So again, what we have is really just a 2-beat phrase that can be fun. What if we put it with them? I'm doing all this on the fly, by the way. I just wanted to have fun. So what if we put like 2 maple syrup pancakes? Now again, we don't have to start it on the downbeat. We could start this on the upbeat, put a kick on the downbeat of 3. So it could go 3 E and 4 E and Or you could change that sticking. 3 E and 4 E. And again, we have another, I don't know, there's like a hair or an eyelash, something happening here. This lesson has gone horribly wrong. So you have another phrase that you can use besides just that. So you have this 2-beat backwards phrase that you can put with the other phrases that you've learned. That's my goal. I want you to learn this as a phrase. Now the next phrase that we're going to learn is, it's very popularly referred to as bucket of fish, especially in the jazz world. Whenever there's like a hit on 2, they may do a bucket of fish into 1 and then do that. But bucket of fish essentially is a maple syrup pancake laid out just a little bit different. And so it's going to be the same type of a thing, right, left, right, and then kick. At the front, we're going to have a triplet type of pattern. Sometimes we use it in a dotted rhythm. start kind of mixing those together, okay? So that's called a bucket of fish, and you can use that across styles. You can use that in shuffles. It's very popular in big band style music. So now this last one is kind of a stutter step. It's kind of what I refer to it as a stutter step. And it's between this first tom and the snare drum. It's really a 3/16 note rhythm resting on the 3rd 16th note. So it's going to go 1 E and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, and the on 3 has a kick drum. You could also put a kick drum after every one of them. Now, again, I want to go back to, I wanted to teach you some phrases under the guise of I'm teaching you 5 drum fills. I don't really like to teach independent fills. I like to teach phrases, I like to teach words that you can make into sentences, okay? So take these, and again, I named them just fun, okay? So we've got the salt and peanuts, I'm trying to remember them all, maple syrup, and then that goes into the pancakes, right? Maple syrup pancakes, and then we have bucket of fish, we have the backwards fill, and then this stutter step. And so you can take the concepts from each one of those, rearrange them, and put them into a fill that is all your own. So that's 5 drum fills that hopefully will help you. Download the sheet music, that way you can see them visually, and then don't stop there, don't just learn what I taught you, like experiment, play around, make it your own. That's the whole thing, that's the great thing about the drums is creating, actually spending the time to say, like I was literally in the middle of that, like, oh cool, I could take this and I could do this, and that's what I do. Like I learn these, I'm like, oh cool, what if I took 2 maple syrup pancakes and a bucket of fish and I put that with the salt and peanuts, and you know, and in my mind I'm just using those, and you need to be able to count them obviously, but these mnemonic devices help you remember them, especially if you're in the beginner, intermediate level. As you get into an advanced level, you get to that space where you can create. So take these ideas and really dig into them. Leave me a comment, let me know which is your favorite. Let me know some of the combinations you've come up with that you dig as well. Subscribe to the channel, turn on the notifications, tons of stuff coming out every week. Let me know what you want to see, I'm always listening. There's a ton of other drum fill lessons on the YouTube channel as well as on my website. If you like this type of a thing, in the members area on the website, I have a whole lesson course. It's just entitled Fills That Work, and it's 8 lessons on fills like this that you can pull out and use in a variety of situations and that work every time. So you can go and subscribe to the Drum Better Daily program to get access to that. But whatever you do, I'll see you here in the next lesson. Go practice. I'm going to go practice.